Sequoia, it's just me. Hey, it's just me, alright? I didn't do anything. No, I didn't. It was just me saying, alright, let's get it going. Yeah. Alright. There we go. Can you guys see me? I'm going to test a few things real quick. Oh, it's working. Great. Second day in a row indeed. What's going on, Howard? Yeah. All right. Seems I learn a few things every day. Today, I learned how to set a category for the channel. Today we have some bench press. If things are feeling good, something like 430 would be awesome. Do you find it harder to train by yourself at your home? I'm training at home too. At the moment, due to COVID, finding it hard to get fired up. You know what, man? Not really. I trained in a garage or a basement gym by myself for like 3 years. And I really enjoyed it. I kind of felt like I could control every aspect of lifting. It was a really nice feeling. So obviously there's some great things about working out with other people. But there's some good things about kind of controlling things yourself. You know what I mean? A little colder in here today. It was snowing. Like a light rain, snow outside. But I rearranged things a little bit. As you can see, I got rid of the cooler that was there in the corner. So we'll be doing some bench press today. Then a little warm up, and we'll kind of get into things. Yeah, it'll be good. All right. I'm gonna put on this uplifting playlist. Here we go. Sweet. What's up, Kyle? I appreciate it, man. I'm digging the stream setup too. Besides the difference in direct back and arm work, the beginner program and the intermediate program seem similar. Can you expand on this a little bit? Yeah, so the beginner program is a little bit lower intensity and a little bit lower training volume as well. And there's an introduction of singles far sooner in the training approach. So let's take a step back and take a look at the difference between an intermediate training approach and a beginner training approach. If you were to look at the training approach I'm running currently, and you just put in 300-pound maxes for deadlift, 200-pound squat, and 100-pound bench press, it would look like a beginner approach because all we're really looking at is the load. So sometimes the difference between an advanced approach and a beginner approach is as simple as the load someone's using. I'm only deadlifting once a week right now. I'm doing 5s. Like, that's pretty basic if you kind of take a look at things. A lot of the things that make something advanced are either the fact that you have to problem solve for an elite athlete, so getting around specific aches and pains or troubleshooting a specific point in the lift, but besides that, it's really load dependent in a lot of cases. You know what I mean? Got some bands around here somewhere. Here we go. Arcane, I don't think I get 1200. But if I did get it, I think I'd probably just invest it, to be honest. This is a really good time to invest, so that's the way I'm thinking. Let me let people know they can tune in. Everyone say hi. I feel like any of the days where I'm only doing bench press are so much easier. Twitch.tv/strength athlete. Oops. Okay. Yeah, Arcane, I agree. I don't think we've quite bottomed out on the market yet, but I don't think we're far, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna position this other camera a little bit better. Let's see. That's about as good as we're gonna get. In historic market crashes, the market recovered before the unemployment was the lowest. Good point. In this case, the amount of unemployment filings was massive, like the highest it's ever been. So we'll see what happens with that. All right. Nice. I am missing a clip somewhere. There we go. Yo, what's going on, Roberto? How's it going? Just getting started over here. There we go. Just getting started. But I tend to warm up pretty quickly, so we'll be up to top sets pretty soon. And I will shed layers as I go. Yo, thanks for following. What's up, Meerkat? I've really been enjoying these SBD wrist wraps. I didn't used to like them so much, but we're getting better and better. What's up, Pantheist? What's up, Gruder? Yeah, I'm really enjoying this setup. Who listens to us, guys? Jason Mike is crazy strong. I hope to catch up to his bench press someday. He's been trying to hit 600 in competition for a long, long time. Oh yeah. Yeah, to be honest, Gruder, SBD takes a lot of feedback. So I'm helping them out with deadlift socks. Quite a bit. Ever bench inside the rack? Yeah, definitely. So before this, 5 years ago or something like that, I had a power rack and I benched inside that, and I really enjoyed it. You know, the problem with Rogue racks as they exist is that those J cups are so wide that the bar ends up really close to it. So you need a little bit more space. So something like this is the sandwich cups are a little thinner, and so you get a little bit more space between the bar. Yeah, man, you know the basement days. All right, I think we're good enough for another one here. We're at 100 kilos, still warming up. So far, so good. I might use those later. Good, good. Question for you, do you bench with max legal grip, or is it just a little inside that? Actually, it's a good bit inside that. So I bench with pinkies on the rings and max is index fingers on the rings. So I'm like 3 inches inside, and I've tried going wider. It just doesn't feel good. And so I've adjusted, and now I really like where I'm at. Yo, Jordy, goals for SBD for the end of 2020? Great question. Training has been phenomenal lately, like absolutely phenomenal. Most workouts where I've worked up to like a top set RPE have been PRs, like small rep PRs. So I did 650 for a triple on squats. I did 420 for a set of 5 last week on bench press, and then like 700 for 5 on deadlift. End of year, I'd really like to hit somewhere around 730 for squats. I think that'd be wonderful in training, and then maybe a little less in competition, just because you can be a little bit more aggressive in training. Bench press somewhere around 510 would be fantastic. Bench progresses a little bit slower for me, so we're at that point where every little bit helps. And then for deadlift, somewhere around 825 to 830 would be really awesome. So those are the numbers that I'd like to target. That would be a new world record as well. Yo, Corey, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining. How's it going, dude? Hope the connection's a little bit more stable this time around. And it's heating up. Zen, what's going on? Connection a little better today? So, We're going there. Connection snappy, nice. Anyone have experience with the vertical creases? Vertical creases? No, not really. Horizontal creases for sure, but not vertical creases. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna try to subscribe to myself on Twitch just to see what happens. Pantheist, the connection's really good, but the problem is that we're still wireless. So I'm really trying to avoid running an Ethernet cord down here. Yeah, I'm gonna try to subscribe to myself if I can do that. I guess I'll have to check that out later. How do I get that? I'm brand new to Twitch, so I'm figuring out all of this kind of stuff. I just figured out a category and I figured out how to name my stream as well. But maybe it's something you only get once you've been streaming a certain amount of time. All right, going to next warm-up. I have 350-foot cords going to all levels of my holy shit. What's up, Powell? Thanks for joining, man. You have to apply for affiliate to get a sub button. Thank you. Thank you so much. Who do I admire in modern powerlifting? Sam Calhoun, I admire a lot. Her work ethic is unbelievable. Taylor Atwood, I admire a lot. Also, good work ethic. Just nose down business, but also has fun with it. I admire people who stay out of drama, who work hard, who love powerlifting even when it's difficult. That's kind of the people who I admire. All right, another warm-up set. Yeah, Zen, self lift-off is awesome. What's up, Tame Flame? Welcome back, man. Appreciate it. Best part of Raw Nationals outside of it being my first time was you calling me across and giving me a hug. Dude, I don't know. Corey, I feel like you really just kind of, you embody the things that I love about powerlifting. Focus on self-improvement, enjoying when you do well, connecting to other people. You keep it real, and I really appreciate that. And I guess that's part of what drew me to you. So thank you. Powell, currently in with last semester of school. Graduating with your BS in exercise science, congratulations. Going into the field of coaching. Any tips or advice that you would have given yourself now? So me from a long time ago and me to now. Great question. Early on, just purely focus on creating lots and lots of training approaches. So program for lots of people. Learning about exercise science, learning about the theory, even from experts, even from practitioners, is great. However, it just doesn't compare to programming. You know what I mean? Like, there's just something about getting in lots of reps of programming for people that allows you the ability to be creative in different ways and problem solve for all these different cases. And that's really important. So program for free for a few people, and then like you have to kind of self-market. So put out as much information as you possibly can. Give for a long time before you expect receiving. And I think that helps out quite a bit. Elbow sleeves are great, Jordy. You just, especially on bench press, have to be careful about relying on them. So I use them on squat because otherwise my elbows get a little irritated. On bench press, they're fine, but I'd be careful about using them on bench press just because it really is the case that you might over rely on them and your 1 rep max would end up a little bit inflated, which especially on bench press can be a pretty big problem. Pantheist, the best skill is to be able to explain and teach the squat to anyone perfectly. If you can do that, everything else is cake. Yeah, that's a very good skill for sure. Especially considering everyone is different and unique. Yo, Gavino, what's going on, man? The strength culture. I'm glad you enjoyed those videos. I appreciate it. Okay, another warm-up set. We've got 160 kilos, 350 pounds on the bar, 353. Feeling fast. All right, I have 3 sets to find a 9, so this next one would be my first set. Corey, the Nikes I did post are the Romaleo 4s. They're just kind of finalized, but they won't be out until September. They look really nice, except for that gigantic swoosh. I like a few of the design elements and some of the details. The upper on the front part of the foot looks like a cloth, unlike the, well, I guess these are a fake leather on mine. Like, I can see that move there because a lot of the other shoes are kind of going the same way, but I just worry about how much it's going to wear compared to, you know, like other shoes that you see on the market. That said, I mean, the upper shouldn't get much wear, especially considering they're only going to be used for training. But at the same time, like, weightlifters especially are pretty demanding on their shoes. Zen, true. What are your thoughts on Westside Barbell and their training? The training itself isn't terrible. It really depends on the purpose of what you're looking for. So for what it was originally meant for, which is multiply powerlifting, it's pretty damn good. There's a lot of focus on end range of motion for squatting, benching, and deadlifting, where you need a lot of strength for multiply lifting. For raw lifting, I think the variation is a little too high in most iterations of Westside I've seen. I think the rationale behind some of their choices is also a little unclear. And the reps are either very high or very low and high intensity. And I think there's purpose for a lot of that middle ground in between. So good ideas, and as a system itself, if I were to choose one system for powerlifting, I wouldn't really choose Westside. Corey, that's an awesome little detail. And that makes a lot of sense, actually. I think I need one light here facing me. Ever did a water cut? I have done a few water cuts. I'm not good at it myself. I'm great at coaching water cuts, but for me specifically, they're not good. I tend to lose a lot of performance. So I try to be at about the same body weight that I compete at. How much do you rest between working sets? So typically for me, it's anywhere from 3 to 8 minutes, somewhere in that range. Outside of that, I start to get antsy and know that I am going to be worse off today than better. So you know something really funny, the number of people watching on Twitch versus YouTube here almost exactly parallels the poll that I put out on Instagram about what platform people would want to watch. It was like 60-40 between Twitch and YouTube. Okay, first working set of 5. Should be pretty easy, and then we'll kind of figure out what jump size we want to take. What's up, Titsy? How's it going? Welcome, welcome. All right, so that was good. It's pretty easy. What's up, Stefan? Thoughts on mental arousal for top sets, calm versus hyped, whether being hyped for every session can potentially lead to burnout? I wouldn't say that being hyped leads to burnout. And I also wouldn't say that being hyped is a bad thing. Really what we're looking at here is a per lifter basis. So there's something called individual zone of optimal functioning, IZOF. And it's basically your specific sweet spot for arousal. For some people it's low, for other people it's high. And it's not an exact spot, it's a range, you know? And you tend to function best within that range. Everyone is different, and not everyone has the need of high arousal for high performance. And I also think there's an individual lift profile too. So some people need to get more amped up for deadlift or for squat or something like that. So yeah, consider that. But burnout is a separate phenomenon. I'd be happy to talk about burnout post-training. What's up, Gums? Not sure how long you've been doing it. There have been some pretty heavy days at home here on lockdown, training alone, having zero social life. Oh man, I appreciate you joining. I really appreciate that. This is actually only the second time that I've streamed, so you are catching in the very early days. The very, very early days. Talha was asking about Wendler's 531 and trying to get your overhead press up. 531 is fine. You might want to treat your overhead press similarly. Oh, I must have not changed one of those alerts. That's the default one. Sorry about that. Yeah, as far as overhead press, just like other lifts, you may want to try increasing either frequency or volume for the overhead press. And I think for the overhead press specifically, part of it's about technique, so getting better with your technique of overhead pressing. And you may want to train related muscle groups too. So train your rear delts, train your traps. Let's kind of get in some of that stuff. Let me load the bar for this next set before we do much of anything else. Yeah, we actually we're on lockdown over here as well. So my heart goes out to you, man. I know it's a weird time right now. Thoughts on Smolov and Smolov Jr. for natural lifters? Jordy, I can rarely think of a circumstance where Smolov or Smolov Jr. is the appropriate amount of training volume. So you may start much lower and then work your way up as you need, basically. But I really wouldn't start there. Those are intensive programs, and I think are too much volume even for most athletes. So you may tolerate it, but that doesn't mean it's even the right amount of training volume for you. Zen, this is my favorite rack too, which is why I brought it over. Ace, what research reviews have you been reading so far? Really, Mass is the only one I read right now. I used to read, back when it wasn't password protected, strength and conditioning research. Still has some fantastic content on there, but it used to be even better. Nowadays, a lot of that stuff is behind a paywall, and it's not free, but it was really damn good. It still is, but not quite there. Yeah, Corey, I think everyone is going to just be so anxious to get back to normal training and ready to just crush it in the gym, which I'm excited for. I can't wait for just how awesome the environment's going to be for so many people. Eric has the Alico at his house. How's training going when you don't have access to a belt squat chest support? Is it noticeable? It's really early in that experiment, Titsy. So I mean, it's only been like a week and a half or something like that we haven't had access to our normal stuff. At the same time, it's been fine. You know, things like machines are great, but I don't think they're a barrier or a necessity for you to be able to thrive as a lifter. You know what I mean? Any specific variation exercise for someone weak at the bottom of the overhead press? That is a good question. I think especially for overhead pressing, your main goal is to get the bar to like nose height or above, and then go from there. Talha, I'm curious though why you're interested in increasing your overhead press, because for a lot of people who are powerlifters, you want to increase your squat, bench, and deadlift because that's what we test in competition. So I'm wondering if it's really just kind of a goal that you've set for yourself, or whether you compete in another sport, or whether it's just fun. So let me know. All right. We are doing another one. Set number 2. Yo, what up, Chalk Poppy? Yeah. Well, that felt better than my first set, which is great. Now I have to see what I did last time. And I'm gonna see if we can just tick that up a little bit. I think 192. This is 185. I think 192 is probably a good mark. Mehar, what's up, dude? Talha, give it time, man, on the overhead press. I strongly have a feeling you'll get there. You just maybe need to build a little bit more muscle mass. So don't look for a cheap trick or targeting a specific thing. Just increase overall muscle mass, and I think you'll be good. Mehar, so we have the shitty webcam for this view, and we have the better one on the bench. So bench good, this one bad. All right, I'm gonna load 192. I think that'll be a good marker for today. Jesse, thanks for joining, man. In your opinion, is it okay to train every other day? Yes, absolutely. In fact, it might be okay to train almost every day. It really just depends on fatigue and how much you're doing every day and which body parts you're doing. From a hypertrophy, muscle recovery standpoint, somewhere between 48 to 72 hours, depending on the training stimulus, is probably good. So training each muscle group somewhere around 2 to 3 times per week is sufficient. From a strength perspective, you may want to make sure that you're adjusting the difficulty of workouts. So you're not doing 2 very difficult workouts with the same muscle groups on back-to-back days. Or if you do, understand kind of which one you expect to perform better and which one you expect to perform worse. So for instance, I oftentimes have a heavy squat workout, and the very next day I'll have a heavy deadlift workout. So I just know that I need to adjust my expectations for the deadlift workout because I'll be going into it fatigued. And that's fine as long as my trend for strength on the whole is shifting upwards. What's up, Cody? How's it going, man? Do you think splitting up your program is a bad idea? For instance, if you have day 1 squats and bench and then doing the bench in the morning and squats in the evening, sure, you can do that. That's not a problem at all. It just may not be necessary, and I think a lot of people don't have access to that kind of time in their day. But if you're a pro athlete, or if you work in a gym, or if you got a home gym and you work from home, or some other way that you can fit that in your schedule, perfectly fine. When do you think it's time to go up a weight class? Trey, great question. If you are sitting above your weight class and you're having difficulty cutting and you're an intermediate to advanced athlete, and you find that your performances in training are always fantastic, you're making progress, but every time it comes to a competition, you're just not able to perform, that might be an opportunity where you take a few meets at the body weight that you normally train at without cutting, which is essentially the start to going up a weight class. See how you like it, see how you perform, and then go from there. And then just kind of continuously monitor if you're making progress, if your Wilks score is going up or your IPF points or something like that. Those are really good ways of figuring that out. Stefan, more Google Sheets or Excel tutorial videos coming on YouTube in the future. Extremely helpful and upgraded the way you deliver format programs. I might do some Twitch stuff on that, actually. So yeah, I can certainly do that. I set up this other scene where I have my second screen and I can just kind of pop some training over here and talk about things as we go through it. But yeah, I'd be happy to do that. Mehar, it'd be awesome to visit, man. When the USD inflates, but also when COVID is gone and we're all back to normal. Man, this is far more enjoyable than it was yesterday with all those connection problems. How do I like Bulgarian split squats as an accessory? They're very difficult. When it comes to programming for other athletes, I tend to give athletes walking lunges instead. I just find it is a safer movement that's easier to load, I guess, than stationary. So I would rather give someone walking dumbbell lunges 20 steps per leg up and down a stretch than I'd give them stationary. But it's really just a personal preference there. The actual muscles worked are very similar in either case. Okay, if you guys will hold one moment, I gotta get Natalie so I don't die on this top set, just in case. Never mind. She's on a call, so we're gonna send it. All right, here we go. 9.5. But we're good. I gave the safeties to Nick Fisher, who's training by himself. So he's got him. Awesome. Small PR on that. That's actually a really big set for me. Let's see what that was. 84.5%. That was by 5. That was great. Yes, and it's really hard to actually get up to exactly a 9. If you had all the equipment at home, would you still prefer to train in a gym? So here, I go back and forth on this. I like training from home. I like the control of it. I like just playing the music that I want. I feel like I can be myself. I feel like I can focus a little bit better. But I really miss some of that companionship that you get with other lifters. The camaraderie, the spots, just the shared experience. So, I don't know. I think finding the right gym is really key. We're really lucky at Elevate Barbell. Like, we have everything we need, you know? But see here, I mean, in a pinch, if this is the only thing you have, like, absolutely, this is a dream, you know? Train in a home gym. All right, that was great. We're supposed to do sissy squats. Now, I have never done sissy squats. Eric Helms sent me a video to watch. So we're gonna watch that together. And we're gonna figure out what the hell I'm supposed to do. Okay? Let me just find it. Oh, here it is. Like, I've seen sissy squats, but okay. Okay, so he's holding on to something for some balance. He's coming up on his toes. His back is staying in line with his knees. And he is going down pretty low. All right, so we're gonna give that a shot. So I have traditionally a fair amount of leg pressing in my training approach. And this is his way of saying, look, I want you to be doing leg pressing. Yeah, Mehar, I'm glad I wrapped your knees. In the future, by the way, if it's any different than the way you normally wrap, as I told you, I really just want to wrap you the way you want to be wrapped. Okay. Well, let's give it a shot. Not bad. Those weren't bad, actually. I think I missed a few things up here. Corey, you were saying TSA was gonna host a camp at Elevate. Yeah, we want to do that for sure. When we were throwing around numbers, it was a little tight for some people to make it. But if we combine it with a meet, like if Eric runs a meet at Elevate, I think that would be perfect. Deadlift Jackie, I'm not doing the pistol squats. We set those back in for Pitch Shark or something like that. Yeah, Zen. It's like when you put your belt on and you know you have a little bit more. So, yeah. So you guys training? Mehar, did you use that new rack yet? Oh shit. Sorry to hear that, dude. Nice, nice. I'm supposed to do like 6 to 8 reps on these, but I'm good at them. I don't know why. I don't know if I should be. These are not as difficult as I expected them to be. Oh, the pad is smooth. Uh-oh. That's not good. Interesting. Do you ever think about the best type of Tupperware to purchase when you travel to another country for a lifting seminar? Ace. No, I don't. I usually don't travel with food. I'll sometimes bring some protein shakes. What's up, Gums? Thanks for following. I'll sometimes bring some shakes. I do have a habit of bringing some prosciutto with me when I travel. But yeah. Oiled wood? Holy shit, that's horrible. I haven't trained on it yet. But oiled wood sounds like the farthest possible thing from what I would want. Oh, okay. So it's reps to 6 to 8 RPE. So I'm just going to keep doing reps until 6 to 8 RPE. All right, I'm guessing I'm going to be in the 12 to 15 range. Ooh, pump. That's nice. What's up, Roberto? Jack, I have not seen Calgary Barbell's 16-week program. I think I took a look at it a while ago, but I don't remember the specifics of it. So give me some of the brushstrokes and I'll let you know a little bit more detail. I presented with Bryce a few times, and he's a smart cookie. So I wouldn't be surprised if he puts out good training approaches. A lot of people in my gym are spot pressing, and I'm often knocked for benching with touch on my chest. Is there any benefit to spot pressing? Great question. I think also there's some benefit to touch and go bench pressing, depending on what we're talking about, just keeping tension on the muscles. So don't worry about what you're doing too much. Everyone has an opinion on just about everything. Spot pressing can help lifters who tend to lose tension on their chest because you have to maintain tension the entire time, and it can help with reversing power because there's no natural stopping point on your chest. You just kind of have to stop the bar mid-press or like 2 inches off your chest. So in that way it can be good. It's a pretty solid variation. I tend to program it 20% of the time or something like that. Mehar, hell no, no reverse grip. In my opinion, that's typically a death wish. I want to give someone tricep work, even long head tricep work, there's plenty of other movements I would reach to before that. Yo, what's up, Arander? Welcome back. Yeah, we're doing way better this time on the stream. This is nice. Blaine gave you 2-board reverse grip yesterday. I honestly think the 2-board is better because you don't have to come down quite as far with that press, but man. Yeah, no restarts, not a single restart. So I switched to a beta version of Streamlabs for Mac, which has been great. And I think we switched to this repeater wireless router here. It's been good. When using RPE, do you lower the weight after every set to compensate the fatigue, or are you supposed to keep the weight the same? Matt, it really depends on who your coach is and what they're programming for you. So if I were to write 3 sets of 4 at RPE 7, in my mind, the first set is RPE 7, and I'm expecting the RPE to climb set to set because fatigue accumulates. Some people may write 4 sets at 7 and expect that they all are around RPE 7. So I would just clarify with whoever has created your training approach, and you'll get a clear answer that way. Matthias, that's a lot of rotation, especially under load. A lot of people can't even hold on to the barbell in a reverse grip, let alone have that be a position of power. So of course you can drop the weight to, 40% of what you do for your competition bench press. But at that point, what training effect are we really getting that we wouldn't better be getting by some other movement? Oftentimes when we create training approaches, we're really just looking at the time investment that it takes, and can that time be better spent doing something else? Athletes typically only have 8 to 10 hours that they can spend in the gym per week. And with that small amount of time, we have to be very selective with what we have the athlete doing to make sure that everything is really allowing them to get benefit. So for instance, I would love to have athletes do calf raises, you know what I mean? Because calf raises could be great for increasing overall muscle mass, even if they're not directly applicable to powerlifting. At the same time, that's very, very low on my totem pole. So with a lot of these choices, even if it's going to make someone better, is it making them better in the exact right way that we're looking for? Arander, it's a massive amount of athletes who are unable to train right now. So don't feel out of place at all. All right, another set, and then get back to answering some questions. I will say, by the way, Arander, that the people we have running training approaches, so even the people who had been training at gyms and now are unable to, those people, we've created some type of training approach. We say, okay, go borrow some bands, go grab a dumbbell, find something, we'll be able to make it work. Find something at home that you can use, and then we'll go from there. Nice. So did Jason Mike stream on Twitch quite a bit? Yo, Chalk Poppy, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Yeah, anytime you're detrained from a movement, like that fatigue sneaks up on you quick. Okay, band face pull. So we have to find the right tension for this. I think this one's probably gonna do well. What's up, SM? Welcome. Mehar, I'm hoping this is temporary training down here. I have not thought about it, but spud pulleys are really good. Rogue has a few attachments that basically go on the end of the rack and kind of come down. Those are super nice. So I think if I set this up this way, this will be good. Yeah, honestly, the Monster Light setup from Rogue is really ideal. They have like a piece of equipment for everything. You can find like just the right things. Surgery, damn. Roberto, what's a trigger finger? Is that when your finger just kind of bends on its own? Because I think I have that. At least a mild case of it. Sometimes when I wake up, it's hard for me to straighten on my right side, this index finger. All right, some bands. It'll double up this tension. Do people prefer the Rogue Monster Rack or the competition style combo? The Rogue Monster Rack, for sure. Chalk Poppy, the Rogue combo rack is kind of garbage. It has a lot of things that still need to be worked out. It is way too heavy, and for that weight, you're not getting any added advantage. You know what I mean? So, really, they just need to make a few modifications. For one, the lever to change the rack height is just off. A lot of athletes can't get the bench safeties up to the right height. Just a few problems with it. Oh, it locks up. Interesting. Yeah, that's not what I have. I don't know what I have. What's up, Robot Food? Welcome, thanks for joining. All right, kettlebell lateral raises, bicep curls. I might be able to superset the lateral raises and the bicep curls. And if I can get this to work on my laptop, I might stream some Super Mario Brothers ROM hacks and play those as well. How long did you find it took for you to take a more process-oriented approach than outcome? Mehar, I think I was super lucky to have found 3DMJ when I did. Like, back before process-oriented and some of this stuff. All right, Roberto, see you later, man. Thanks you so much for joining. I appreciate it. Later, dude. Basically, that's exactly it. Discipline, desire, dedication, focus on the journey, that kind of stuff. Like, that is so critical to making sure that you enjoy this for the long term and not just for today or for the next PR. You know, it's finding value in the doing of this, you know, in just being here in this gym. I was about to say when no one's watching, but you guys are all watching. But, you know, the idea of just enjoying the doing of it for yourself, for the mastery of it all. I was kind of lucky to have that instilled in me, and probably even before powerlifting, to be honest. I played volleyball in high school and college, and volleyball is another one of those mastery-oriented sports, especially as a setter, where you really just kind of have to refine your craft and just get tons of reps in. And I think that rubbed off on me a lot when it came to switching to powerlifting. I do think RPE-based training makes you more focused on the process, because it doesn't really matter so much what the number is. It matters just what the RPE is, and that's still an objective measure anyways, but it's less focused on load, and I think that's something that a lot of people are too focused on, I'd say. SM, I thought your thoughts on directive affirmations were interesting. Do you think their effectiveness could be explained in terms of the broaden and build theory? Can you explain what the broaden and build theory is? I may have seen it, but not by that name. Can you look at a form check on pause squats? Yeah, we can do that, man. I'm down for that. This is my first Twitch form check, or actually it's going to be YouTube, but potatoes, absolutely. In the meantime, while you submit that link, I will do another set. Should do. Yeah, Chalk Poppy. This is not too far from that, actually. What's up, Kobe Strong, man? Welcome, man. Thanks for coming. What's my usual protein goal? If I get in 170 to 200 grams, I'm pretty happy. Even though by the numbers, I should be hitting somewhere around 220, 230 grams. I almost never get there, to be honest. So it's really just, can I get good protein at 4 meals per day? And if I do that, I think I'm safe. At least based on my own history. What's up, Next Light? Thank you for joining. Appreciate you. How's your day going? We got some equipped bench shirt chat. What do you think is the most overhyped training trend in 2020? AKA the DUP or pitch shark of 2010? Oh man. Pandas, great question. It's a little bit early to say, but Candido got a lot of people on the reverse hack squat, where you face the hack squat and do that. Although with people not training at a gym, I don't know what's gonna happen, but Zen, for the last week, for sure, it's been push-up challenges. Ace, you ever read the Carb Appropriate Research Review hosted by Cliff Harvey? I have not. But Iron Culture is awesome. Although, like I swim in powerlifting all day, and so it's sometimes hard for me to get out and listen to a podcast on powerlifting, even if it's good. So I kind of have to drag myself, even if it's good for me sometimes. How do you deal with tightness? Do you have a daily stretch routine you follow, or is that not a big factor for you? Matthew, tightness itself isn't a bad thing. Tightness is bad if it causes pain or if it causes movement dysfunction or you're not capable of hitting the movement positions that you would normally be capable of. Just being tight as a process of, having a good few workouts in a row where you worked a specific muscle, like that's fine. As soon as you warm up, you'll be right as rain, you'll be normal. If things get excessive, you can certainly do some type of extra stretching or make sure that you warm up appropriately. If it's starting to get relatively extreme, it's probably not something you just want to put a Band-Aid on with some extra stretching. You really want to take a look at what your actual fatigue is on a regular basis, what's going on at a deeper level there. But I do have a warm-up that I do on a daily basis, before training. It's not crazy extensive, but it takes me 8 minutes or something like that. It takes a little bit of time. Do you think powerlifting should have some sort of pull-up or row in order to measure upper body pulling strength? Yeah, I mean, if you really wanted to measure like full body strength, probably, you might even want to do an overhead press or something like that too. But powerlifting isn't really a measure of overall strength. It's just a measure of the squat, the bench, and the deadlift. And so if you were to invent your own sport that kind of tested all the muscles, yeah, you for sure might want to throw something in, maybe some bicep curls, or maybe it would even end up looking closer to either CrossFit or strongman, depending on which direction you headed. I think, who was it? Shako said a while ago, I think a long time ago, that he would get rid of the deadlift in powerlifting if he could. Don't quote me on that, but I think he said that. Matthew, I am not your chiropractor, so take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. At the same time, I think a lot of people who are chiropractors tend to fearmonger a little bit when it comes to being out of alignment or something like that. I don't know you, I don't know your situation, but at the same time, I know so many people who have talked to me who constantly feel that they need to do something to be a normal human. I need to be adjusted every so often in order to feel normal or something like that. It's just, I think a lot of that stuff keeps people in a perpetual state of fear and a perpetual state that they are not functional as normal humans, and I don't think that always pans out. Yo, Pete, what's going on, man? As you can see, I think I fixed some of my problems over here. Yeah, PRI. Although pandas, I don't see PRI being that popular still. There was some of that 90-90 hip shift stuff. That's kind of maybe like first half of 2019. It's died down a little bit from what I've seen. All right, so let's do some kettlebell lateral raises and superset those with kettlebell bicep curls. I will be right here. How's BioShock so far, Pete? Did you start with BioShock 1 or did you just go straight to 3? You know what? I think I'm going to be seated. Just less cheating. If you barely pinch it this way, especially for kettlebells. If you just get your pinkies out of the way and you just kind of just hold on to it, you can really focus on that medial delt. May as well do the same thing. Do these seated. Nice. Okay, I'm going back so I didn't miss anything. Broaden is pretty much the immediate effect of positive emotions, which allows you to access a broadened repertoire of mental functions. Okay, I can see that. Although, I guess with directive affirmations, you're not immediately hitting a PR or a top set right after that. So SM in a lot of cases, I wouldn't say directive affirmations do the same thing, but if through the directive affirmation you can kind of set the tone for the session, I think that might be in support of your view there. Bioshock 1, nice. Yeah, there's so many games that are resource management where you're scrounging bullets or, scrounging health. I really don't play games for that reason. Where like there's weather effects and you die if you spend too much time outside. Like that's a fine genre, but just not my cup of tea. All right. Let me see if I can get this form check up. We'll take a look at it. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna nitpick here because that's what you're asking for. A lot of this stuff doesn't matter that much, but we may as well talk about it. So one thing, I want you to try to take fewer steps on your walkout. So if we can limit this down to 3, 1, 2, 3, without those extra stutters, I think you'll be more efficient. And I want you to get to your knees locked out a little bit sooner. So right when you get to those 3 steps, make sure that your knees are completely locked out. That'll help out a lot too. So you're still fiddling around a little bit. Just want you to get in that set position a little bit sooner and a little bit more sure. The pause itself is good. You're certainly holding the pause long enough for a pause squat. I want you to slow down your descent just a little bit. So things are fine. This isn't the worst squat or anything like that. We're just nitpicking a few things, but I want you to slow down your descent just a little bit. I think that'll allow you to maintain a little bit more tightness in the hole, and as a result, finish the rep a little bit better. Knee position looks good. Looks like your feet are pretty flat. Bar's in a pretty good position on your back. All that looks fine. There's a slight double bounce at the bottom, but it's really not something I'm worried about. Jonathan, the combo rack I was using yesterday is this one right over here. It's a custom one that Eric Bodhorn had made. It's a custom one. But it was functioned after an ER rack. What's up, Tecumseh? Thank you for joining. Yeah, Zen, Mehar's a good person to talk to. I feel like you guys would have a lot to chat about with each other. So yeah, hope you find somewhere to train as soon as possible. And I'll chat with you soon. Is a wider grip always better on bench press because I actually feel weaker with a max grip width? Dylan, I am in the same exact boat. I don't feel better with a max grip width, so no, it's not always better. Again, just like low bar position, a lower bar position is not always better for athletes. It's really just about finding what works best for you. Or deadlift width stance, you know, toes to plates isn't always best either. So it's just kind of about finding where you function best specifically. Dave, this is one of my favorites, man. Ooh, Chick-fil-A. Nice. Narrow can definitely be better. Yeah, if I didn't make that clear. Yes, absolutely. Deadlift. Did you? That's awesome, man. I'm really happy for that. I hope powerlifting has treated you well so far. What do you think the physiological aspect is that makes your body do so well with higher bar, closer grip, snappier deadlift? Oh man, I've thought about it before. Could it be the fact that I played volleyball before where I was doing a lot of jumping on a really regular basis? Maybe. Could it be the type of training that I was doing when I was playing volleyball was more focused on fast twitch muscle fibers, and so I've had a longer time exposed to that style of training? Maybe. Could be some genetic component, I don't know. Also possibly. I'm really not sure. But that's my best guess, I think. Oh man. Yeah, deadlift, that's awesome. Ricky Dale Crane says form, technique, and style, if I recall correctly. That's his 3 things. Sure. Yo, Edwin. You're not too late. We're kind of finishing up the tail end. I hit a PR bench set of 5 at 192.5 kilos. It's pretty darn good for me. Yeah, Mihar, I agree. Early on, I saw a lot of weightlifters on the bodybuilding.com forums, and like, I saw this guy and his squat technique was just beautiful. Like, you know, the type of efficiency that weightlifters really try. And like, I saw that and I thought, I want to be that. Like, I want that to be me. And that's kind of what influenced my squat style for a long time. Tecumseh, I don't have an exact stream schedule, but you can likely catch us at 4:30 to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time most days of the week. I train 5 days a week. Natalie trains 4 days a week. So one of us is going to be here training 4:30 to 5 p.m. start time 5 days a week. I will update the stream schedule. Yeah, Mihar, I think it's kind of early exposure. Typically see a lot of athletes squat like close to the way other people squat. You like that scroll bar, dude? I like that a lot. And we're gonna update it every session, so it kind of just shows current training. One more superset, and then we're done. Then we can chat about some questions. Mihar, I haven't read Range, but I've listened to a few TED Talks by Epstein. He is a phenomenal dude, and I'm very, very interested in some of the controversial views. I mean, not controversial from a scientific standpoint, but controversial from like a cultural acceptance standpoint. Just about like when we're actually measuring athletes compete, what are we measuring? Are we just measuring the difference in genetic potential, like mainly at the highest level, potentially? Yo, what's going on? How's your streaming going? It's been fun so far. Today's actually the first day we got stable internet connection. Everyone say hi to Amber. Amber streams Apex on Twitch and potentially some other things. I think I caught you one time, but not more than that. But yeah, we're all just quarantined right now. Oh, sweet. I might get around to streaming some Super Mario Brothers ROM hacks. That'll be fun. Talha's anterior pelvic tilt has been getting worse lately, most likely due to just sitting on your ass all day. Lower back especially is cramping up. Any stretches you recommend? Talha, I mean, let's just try the low-hanging fruit first rather than specific stretches. Just get up a little bit more, move around a little bit more and see if that makes a difference. I'm hoping that will make a difference for you. If not that, honestly, just a few pigeon stretches has been really helpful to me. Omega, I am simultaneously streaming to YouTube and Twitch right now. So if you're on YouTube, you can only see me. But if you see the window up here, you can see some of those comments are coming in from Twitch. So I'm simultaneously streaming to both right now. So let me show you this pigeon stretch because I really like it. It feels super good. Let's see. Basically, just take one of your legs and just pin it behind the other like this and just sit back into that hip. So flat back and just kind of glide back a little bit in the hip. Feels really good. Do a few variations. So one variation is dropping your head down a little bit this way. The other variation is kicking the knee out a little bit this way. Both of those feel really good. Same thing on the other side. My Twitch channel is called The Strength Athlete. So I will type it in here for you, twitch.tv/Strength Athlete. Be easy enough to find. Do I do cardio? Jordy, not really a whole lot, to be honest. I do walks and stuff like that, but I'm really not doing kind of moderate intensity, steady state. Besides just for general health purposes. I'll get out and go on walks every once in a while, but yeah. AJ, how long can one start to lose strength during the isolation due to detraining? So, AJ, your top end strength will go down pretty quickly on bench press, secondarily on squat, and last on deadlift. So deadlift tends to stick around for strength the longest. Your actual ability to lift will just detrain a little bit because you've retained most of your muscle mass. So muscle mass is pretty easy to maintain on like a third of the volume that you normally used to. So let's put that in terms of a typical training approach. If you train 3 sets of 5 on squats and you do that twice a week and that's all the squatting volume you do, 1 set of 5 on 2 separate days is probably all you need. Or something similar to that, some similar amount of training stress, even if it's not a barbell back squat. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's lunges, or maybe it's jumping scissor squats or something like that you can still do during this quarantine time. So don't worry about top end strength. During this period of time, I would really more worry about maintaining muscle mass, because if you can't keep up with the movements, then you're going to detrain those movements, and that's fine as long as you just keep overall muscle mass up. Yo, what's going on, guys? Joe, how's it going? Yeah, Mehar, seriously. I've had 2 weeks of no deadlifting, and I've come back and PR'd a deadlift. Deadlifts are very loyal. What's going on, guys? All right. Huge fan. Can you educate me on bench and overhead press grip width? Is there an ideal guide to width, or is it pure preference? Good question. So I put it this way. Start off somewhere that is both comfortable and not too bad on strength. So typically for most athletes, a good place to start is pinkies on the ring, or maybe a little bit inside that. See how that feels for a little bit of time, and then progressively move your grip out on bench press up to the point where either positioning takes a hit or strength takes a hit. So one of the two things. It's either not as comfortable or it's not as strong after you've tested it for 3 to 4 weeks, let's say. Overhead press, I would say, typically has a narrower grip than bench press. So probably a narrower grip on overhead press than for bench, especially if we're talking like Olympic lifting or something like that. Oh, good. I'm glad you like that pigeon stretch. Yeah, that one's awesome. What advice would you give to a novice lifter who knows all he or she can about nutrition, but doesn't know how to cook? Any literature to help? Good question. Yeah, man. And I hope you like this one. There is a wonderful TV show that was on Food Network for quite a while that just got a reboot called Good Eats. Good Eats by Alton Brown. I'm going to type it here in the chat. Good Eats, Alton Brown. Watch all 14 seasons of it and you will know how to cook by the end of it. It's not just a cooking show where he says, this is a recipe, we're going to make this recipe. He explains what ingredients are, where they came from, the history of the ingredient, the history of the cooking method. You will learn everything you need to know about cooking. It's a damn good start. So when I was bodybuilding once upon a time, I watched, I binge watched all of Good Eats, and I learned a ton by doing that. Binging with Babish, or Basics with Babish, I have not seen that myself, but I've heard really good things, so do that too. Where did you get your knowledge from? Follow some smart people, read extensively, and listen and watch videos, and you too can be a powerlifting coach. No, it takes a lot of time, honestly. It took a fair amount of time, practice, attention to detail, conversations, being vulnerable and not getting stuck on any particular opinion, and ultimately you'll learn a thing or two as well. Some of the jokes in Super Training are worth buying that book though, Mehar. Mel Siff is a funny dude. Hi, how was moving over to powerlifting changed your body composition? From when did your natural bodybuilding? Do you credit more training or diet? If both, what % would you assign each? Great question. Powerlifting training is a lot more similar to bodybuilding training than a lot of people give it credit for. I'm still doing bench workouts, I'm still doing lats, I'm still doing quads, glutes, hamstrings. It's all of that kind of stuff. So it's really not the training. If there's any difference in my body composition, it's due to my diet over that period of time. I'm just not dieting as extensively as I was when I was bodybuilding. You know what I mean? And that's fine with me. I am eating for performance. I'm maintaining the 105 kilo weight class right now, and that's my goal. There was a time last year when I was thinking about dropping down to 93s after nationals. So if I didn't win, then it would have been a really good time to take basically a year off and drop down to the 93s and see how that was competition wise. But it's not the training, it's the diet for sure. Haven't had access to a rack for around 8 months. My 1RM was 365, your front squat is 245, you're doing Zerchers currently. What's a good number to hit? Anthony, I'm not sure how to answer that question. You may just try training again, you know what I mean? As for Zercher, a lot of people drop a ton of strength off from Zercher to their competition squat. Just do what you can. Give yourself an RPE target and work from there. So speaking of nutrition, I am done with training. This was fantastic. Thank you guys for joining. I'm gonna go eat now. We have got this little mini fridge right here. We stocked it with some protein shakes. So we're gonna get one of those, and I will see you guys tomorrow for rep-y squats. I think I'm doing sets of 5 tomorrow. And yeah, that'll be fun. And on Sunday, we're going to Ben Rice's stream to play some Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, actually, we have to figure out how to raid someone. So, okay, hang on. We're gonna go raid someone. Do you have any good recipe for sushi rice? Yeah, so make yourself a batch of rice. Oh, okay, sorry. All right, let's see here. Channel. Oops, that's not what I want. Creator dashboard. I'm gonna have to follow some more powerlifters here. If you guys have some powerlifters to follow, let me know. But I think we at least have Ben here that we can go raid. All right, so we're gonna go. I don't know if you guys like Mario as much as I do. I watch a tremendous amount of Super Mario ROM hacks and Super Mario Maker 2 levels and stuff like that. Ryukar is one of the best streamers for that. So we're gonna go see Ryukar here, and we're gonna go raid him. So check it out if you like Super Mario World. And if not, I hope you guys have a great afternoon. Here we go. Sweet. All right. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.